su nombre, por favor, cuando diga su nombre, decida cómo se va a declarar de nuevo. Puede declararse culpable, no culpable o nulo.
If you have changed your plea to either guilty or nolo contendere, it will not have any effect in reference to the charge or the sentence.
Si usted decidió cambiar su declaración en lugar de no culpable, a declararse nulo o culpable, esto no va a afectar en ningún aspecto ni la condena, ni la pena, ni la multa que le van a imponer. O sea, no puede cambiar de parecer si lo decide así.
If you plead not guilty, then we'll continue with your case accordingly.
Y si se declara no culpable, continuamos con su caso como se había previsto.
Make sure that while you're on this session that you are in a stationary position. We will not allow you to continue on the session if you are moving around at work or driving.
Asegúrese que se encuentre en un sitio donde se encuentra sin ningún tipo de movimiento. Tiene que estar fijo en una posición o en un sitio. No se le va a permitir que esté moviéndose, aunque si está en el trabajo o si está manejando, eso no se permite, no puede estar en movimiento.
Also refrain from eating and or drinking while you're on the Zoom session.
Por favor, también asegúrese de que no vaya a estar comiendo ni bebiendo durante la sesión de Zoom.
Ms. Bowen, I need for you to be still while you're on the session. You've been moving around the whole time, and I'm sure you don't want everybody looking around on the inside of wherever you're located. Thank you. Ms. Seals, thank you for being still. All right, so I'm going to call the calendar in a second, ladies and gentlemen. When I do, if you hear your name, take yourself off of mute, make your announcement as to how you plan on proceeding. And then once you've done that, you can place yourself back on mute. Again, this is a trial date, so I expect that if you're going to trial, that you'll be prepared to move forward with your case.
Damas y caballeros, asegúrese de que cuando yo te voy a llamar la lista de casos, cuando diga su nombre, usted active el micrófono, diga cómo quiere proceder y después vuelve de nuevo a cerrar el micrófono. Y asegúrense de que están preparados para ir a juicio. Si eso es lo que usted quiere, este es el día del juicio, tiene que estar preparada para proceder con su caso.
All right, it is now 8:16, so we're going to go ahead and call the calendar. Is Guillermo Acevedo López?
Guillermo Acevedo López, por favor, si está presente, conteste.
FTA. Madam Clerk, we don't have anybody trying to get into the session, do we?
No, we do not.
Okay, and everybody's audio is good?
Yes.
All right. So on Mr. Acevedo Lopez, that's an FTA. Tanisha Bowen. Tanisha Bowen.
Yes, I'm here.
Ms. Bowen, what's your announcement?
Not guilty.
All right, Ms. Bowen, you don't have your camera on. All right. Thank you. We got you not guilty. Stand by. We'll come back to you. Candace Cannon.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Well, thank you for the promotion, but I'm the solicitor. I'm not the judge.
Oh,
good morning.
Okay,
anyway.
good morning, solicitor.
No
And
worries.
not guilty.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll come back to you in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Cameron Carter.
Yeah, I'm here, not guilty.
Mr. Carter, I'm showing that you have an attorney, Mr. Steinhaus. Is he?
He is no longer going to be representing me, so I'm going to be representing myself.
Okay. All right, we got you. Zaki Cross. Zaki Cross. FTA. Cedrice Denard.
Right here. Not guilty.
Thank you, sir. Quantavious Durden. Quantavious Durden. FTA. Doc Hicks. Doc Hicks. FTA. Jaleesa James.
Yes, I'm solicitor, not guilty.
Thank you, Ms. James.
You're welcome.
Jasmine Phipps. Jasmine Phipps. FTA. Deborah Roy.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Solicitor. This is my second time. I'm not guilty.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Christine Seals.
Hi, not guilty, and it's Kristen.
Kristen, all right, I have you, Ms. Seals. Kenneth Shorter. Kenneth Shorter. FTA. Dennis Summers. Dennis Summers. FTA. Byron Tobert. Byron Tobert. FTA. Baron Vincent. Baron Vincent. FTA. Diane Williams. Diane Williams. FTA. Michael Williams.
Not guilty.
All right, Mr. Williams, we have you. All right, that concludes the call of the calendar. Is there anybody on this session that expected to be on the trial calendar for this morning that did not hear their name? If you could place yourself off, take your mute off, and then let us know who you are. Anybody who did not hear their name?
¿Alguna persona que no oyó su nombre cuando llamaron la lista de casos? En caso de que tenía un caso aquí y no llamaron su nombre, por favor déjenos saber. Did you
Dennis
call-
Summers. Dennis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What is your name?
Dennis Summers. I was trying to speak. I missed on mute.
Okay.
Not
Mr.
guilty.
Summers. All right, Mr. Summers, do you know how to change your name on your device?
I just did it, Solicitor.
Okay,
Thank you.
not guilty. Summers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. We're going to proceed in just a second. Let me get a couple of things out of the way. So on Chavez, Candace Cannon. Ms. Cannon, I know you made your announcement. Ms. Cannon,
Yes, sir.
your matter is going to be reset, officer or trooper. Now, Trooper Chavez has a conflict. He's in another location and can't make it on this Zoom this morning. So you're going to
Okay.
your case is going to be reset. While I have everybody here, can you please place your emails along with your name in your chat? Go ahead and place it on the chat on this Zoom. Type in your email address along with your names, because whatever happens today on this session, you're going to get notices from the court via email. So just go ahead and type in your email address along with your name on the chat.
Por favor, escriba su nombre completo y su correo electrónico en el chat, porque cualquier comunicación que vaya a tener de aquí en adelante con este tribunal va a ser por medio de su correo electrónico. Asegúrese de que lo tienen ahí. Mr. Melrose, do you want to call for some of the witnesses?
I'm going to go through them in a second. I don't believe
Okay.
I have any witnesses on here though, because nobody, when I made the announcement, if they didn't hear their name, nobody's.
Okay, nobody said anything. Okay, I'll wait until you've called it anyways, so that way I know, because there is one case that has a witness and it might need an interpreter.
Okay. Is that the Acevedo Lopez matter? Yes.
Actually, no, there is a one on page 4 that has a witness for that case.
Page 4, which one?
Seals Kristen, it's Manuel Moncayo. You want me to, I mean, I don't think he's here, but you want me to call for that?
Yes, you can make an announcement for him. I'm gonna give
Okay,
it till 8:30 to make sure nobody logs
sure.
in.
Yeah. Buenos días, el señor Manuel Moncayo se encuentra presente en esta audiencia. Por favor, déjenos saber, abra su micrófono, active su micrófono y déjenos saber si se encuentra acá.
All right, so Ms. Cannon, were you able to put your email into the chat?
Yes, sir, I have.
Madam Clerk, can we verify that? We have that?
Yes, I have it.
So Ms. Cannon, we're going to resend, or we're going to send you a new court date once we get that back on the calendar and Officer Chavez is available. You can go ahead and log off. Just look out for the new court date in your email, okay?
Okay, and also I've submitted proof that I had coverage, that my tags and everything has been coverage throughout the year
Okay,
and prior years.
so let me just make sure that I have your charges correct. I have improper erratic lane change and expired or no license plate or decal. Is the information that you provided in reference to when you purchased your plate or your tag?
Yes, the last time I was on, they were saying that I didn't have that, it was expired.
Yes.
And so the judge told me to send in proof that it wasn't expired. I guess somehow because I work in Clayton County, my vehicle was registered up there, but I stay in Muskogee. So all of my stuff was registered, but it was saying that it wasn't registered, that it had expired. So I just sent in proof that it was covered.
Okay. And you emailed it to the court?
Yes, sir.
We received it.
All right, so we have it in the file and we'll address that when you come back next time, okay?
And Ms.
Okay.
Cannon, we'll
Yes,
mail
ma'am.
the reset date to you. So I have an
Okay.
address in Riverdale. Is that not correct?
No, that's not correct. Would you
Okay.
like me to update it in the chat?
Well, if you'll just email us, just email us that information.
Okay.
Don't put it in the chat. Just email it to us.
To that same email that I sent the proof?
Is it Naples Drive?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll mail that information to that address.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, you can go ahead and log off, Ms. Cannon. Have a good day.
Okay. You as well.
Thank you. All right. And so I'm going to go back to the beginning of the calendar and deal with these officer cases. So Tanisha Bowen. Ms. Bowen?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. All right, Ms. Bowen, your case is going to be dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Were you able to put your email in the chat?
Yes.
Can we verify that email address, please?
I have
First,
it.
yes.
All right, so Ms. Bowen, you're going to receive notice from us in reference to the dismissal via email. You can go ahead and log off. Just look out for that information in your email.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I have Cameron Carter.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Carter, your case is being dismissed for warrant of prosecution also. You can go.
You said,
ahead.
I'm sorry. You said my case is being dismissed?
Yes, your case is being dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Make sure that you have your email in the chat. Have you already put it in there?
I did, sir.
Okay. And we verify we have Mr. Carter's email.
Yes, I have it.
All right. So Mr. Carter, you can go ahead and log off. We're going to email you the documents.
Thank you so much.
Court session. You're welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And I have Jasmine Phipps. Phipps? I know I saw you somewhere earlier. Or did I not?
I have her listed as FTA.
Yeah, that's an FTA. Okay. All right, so Kristen Steele, Ms. Steele,
Yes.
it appears as though your case is a accident, correct?
Honestly, I'll have to go on whatever they were saying because I'm not sure if I was supposed to plead guilty or no low because I was driving down Jonesboro Road and don't know what caused it. I didn't find out till they rushed me to the hospital.
Okay.
They said
So-
that I had a medical condition that happened, and they said it's grave.
Ms. Seals, you're going too much into the fact of the case, and so I'm going to make an announcement that may resolve this for you, but I will advise you that even after this, based on the fact that you received the citations, it could come back. Because this incident included a victim, Manuel Montoya, who has not logged in. He is the witness in this matter.
Okay,
The officer that arrived was dispatched to that location, so they cannot testify in reference to how the accident occurred. Notwithstanding all the stuff that you were saying, your matter is going to be dismissed for warrant of prosecution. If, though, Mr. Montoya comes back, this may be placed back on a calendar. I believe within 180 days, it can come back. But for now, it's being dismissed because he failed to appear, okay?
okay,
Did you put your email into the chat, ma'am?
yes.
Okay, can we verify that we have Ms. Seals' email?
I don't have it.
Ms. Seals, can you just tell us what your email address is?
Seals, SEALS, period, KRISTEN @gmail.com.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Seals, you can go ahead and log off. Just look for any information from the court in your email, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, it's now 8:30. And we are going to go back to the front. Got one FTA on the first page, one reset and dismiss. Second page, another dismissal, another FTA. And we have Officer Fields and Cedric Bernard. Stand by for just a second for me. So Judge, we're ready to proceed whenever you are.
Mr. Mary Rose, may I be excused?
Yes.
Okay, well, in any case, if you need me, just send me an email. I'm home, so I can log in, whenever.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're
All right, Mr.
welcome.
Prosecutor, you want to go ahead and call your first case?
Yes, Your Honor, that would be Cedric Bernard. This is Officer Fields.
Okay. Mr. Denard, Mr. Denard,
He's on mute, sir.
will you please unmute?
Yeah.
Hello.
Mr. Denard, is there some distraction in your background? If you'll please turn it off.
There you go, sir.
Officer Fields.
Mr. Denard, you've entered a not guilty plea to the traffic control device charge. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
You understand that this case is being tried today in the City of Forest Park Municipal Court. Is that correct?
I didn't really understand, honestly.
What don't you understand?
I thought I was gonna have an attorney.
Well, you've never asked for an attorney, or have you hired one? Have you hired yourself an attorney?
No, I wanted a court appointed.
Well, when did you request a court-appointed attorney?
I was always talking through Zoom.
Okay, but did you ever
So
make a request for a court-appointed attorney through Zoom?
I didn't understand. I could.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
well, you're here on a traffic control device. If you'd like to have, have you spoken with an attorney regarding this matter?
No, sir.
Okay, why haven't you?
I was hoping to resolve it before it got this far.
I don't know what the resolution would be. With you entering a not guilty plea on your arraignment date, you requested that your case go to trial here in Forest Park on today, and it looks like the city is ready to go forward with the trial. Do you understand that?
I didn't, honestly, before today.
Okay.
Your Honor, if
Yeah.
I may, I looked at his history. Mr. Denard really doesn't have anything on his history. The last ticket he received was back in 2006. The city would agree to amend the charge to a basic rules violation, so he does not have to use a NOLO, and it will not be placed on his driving history if he wanted to enter a plea to that.
All right, Mr. Denard, the city is recommending that they will reduce this to a non-reportable offense contingent upon you paying a fine of $175. If you'd like to do that, if you do not want to do that, then they will proceed with the trial. Can you tell me what your preference is, sir?
What will be my time limit on paying it?
You will have 2 weeks. If you need more than 2 weeks, then you will be placed on probation to pay it.
And how do you pay it?
They will send you information as to how to pay it, but normally you can mail it in via a money order or a cashier's check, or you can come down to the public safety building and pay it directly.
Okay, so I accept.
All right. So what is your plea to the charge, sir?
What should I take in order to not have it on my record?
Well, the city said that if you enter a guilty plea to the charge, they will do it as a basic rules violation. But it's left up to you as to whether or not you want to change your plea from not guilty to guilty. And you're
Okay,
not
I'll do
compelled,
that.
and you're not compelled to do that based on the city's offer. This is a decision that you need to make independent of any offer that the city's making. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So, sir, what would you like your plea to be to the reduced charge of basic rules?
Which is guilty.
Do you understand, Mr. Denard, that by entering into the guilty plea, that you're doing this without the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes, correct.
Or do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Correct.
Sir, are you entering into the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And sir, do you believe it is in your best interest, in light of the city's decision to reduce this to a non-reportable offense, to enter into the guilty plea today?
Yes.
The city will accept your guilty plea to the basic rules violation. The fine amount is $175. Are you able to pay this in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
Yes, I think I will be able to do it.
Well, if you're not sure, you can be placed on probation. So tell me if you can pay it in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I can.
All right. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Yates or Ms. Payton, can we confirm that his information is in there?
Yes, I have it.
All right, Mr. Denard, you will receive your plea form through your email by close of business tomorrow. You will enter a guilty plea. Once you have sent that back, then you will receive your 2-week agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes.
please ensure that you comply with the 2-week agreement, because if you fail to comply, there could be other consequences imposed by the court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, sir, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, sir, you can log off. Thank you. You want to go to your next matter, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Jaleesa James is the next person. And Your Honor, that was Officer Field's only case. May she be excused?
Yes, thank you, Officer Fields.
Thank you.
All
And
right,
this is going to be Officer Green.
all right, Ms. James,
Yes, Your Honor.
you're charged with a following too close and not having your license on your person when the officer asked you to present it. What is your plea to the following too close, which means that the front of your car hit the back of someone else's car?
I'm not guilty.
Okay, and what is your plea to not producing your license at the time that the officer requested that you do that?
It wasn't on me at that time, but I had.
Okay, but that's what the charge is, that you were not able to produce it. So what is your plea to that? Is it not guilty, or no low contender?
I was guilty.
Okay, Mr. Prosecutor, you want to go ahead and call the case for trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Everyone that's going to testify, if you'll please raise your right hand.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, so because this was an accident case, Madam Clerk, can you let me know if we subpoenaed the victim on this matter? I believe that would have been Kadeem Capers.
For Jaleesa James, it would have been Vernon Moss,
Okay, so I have,
and we did.
I'm looking at the police report and I have as victim number 1, Kadeem Sinclair Capers.
Okay, one moment, please.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Who am I
I
speaking
believe
with?
this is Officer Estrada.
Yes. How are you
I
doing,
believe-
Officer Estrada?
Good. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
I believe that the report that's submitted under Jaleesa James is my report for my case.
Okay, if you'll I think the prosecutor heard you. He's looking at that right now.
Okay, yes, sir.
Thank you.
To answer your question, Solicitor, Quantavious Durden was subpoenaed.
Quantavious Durden? Why would, so, okay.
Give me a moment. I apologize.
Okay, Officer Estrada, you're saying that this is your case, correct? I see that you're
Yes,
on
sir.
You're at the bottom of the report. Your report also indicates that the caller for the accident was a Kadeem Capers.
Yes, the incident report that's attached to Ms. James is for my case, not hers.
Oh, wait. Okay, so you don't have a case with Ms. James, is that correct?
That's correct. But they have
All right,
my incident report.
So the individual on your incident report is Janisha Carter, right?
And Quantavious Durden.
Okay, yeah, so we're not on that case yet. I do need the report for Ms. James.
We're
Ms.
sending
James.
that. I apologize.
That's okay. It happens. No worries. We just want to make sure that we have the right person. So give me the name on Ms. James, the witness on Ms. James' case again.
And take it.
It's Vernon Moss.
Vernon Moss. Okay. Is there a Mr. Moss available on the Zoom? Mr. Moss. Judge, we apologize about the mix-up on that.
It's not a problem, sir. It's not a problem. I know you're getting some of this in live time, so just tell me what you want to do with this matter.
Well, having heard no announcement from Mr. Moss, who would have been the witness slash victim in this matter, we're going to dismiss for want of prosecution, Judge.
All right, Ms. James?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, the city is not going to prosecute this case because the witness is not here. Of course, if the witness reappears, they do have the right to reinstate it within 6 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Yates, do we have her information? And it looks like Ms. Yates is
I don't
looking
see
for
her.
Ms. James, can you just provide us with your email address?
Yes, Your Honor. It's jaleesehead@gmail.com.
Slow down, say it again.
Jaleese, J as in joy, A as in apple, L as in love, I as in ice cream, S as in C, E as in egg, HEAD @gmail.com.
Okay,
So that I can make sure that that's correct, that I have the correct information. J John, A Adam, L Lincoln, I Ida, S Sam, E Edward, HEAD @gmail.com.
Correct.
Okay.
you will receive your plea form, enter a not guilty plea, and then you will receive your dismissal. Ms. James, you can disengage from the call, and thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor.
yes.
No worries, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too.
Your Honor, I'm free to go.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Have a nice day, sir.
All right, you take care.
Okay, so Judge, the next person I have on the calendar for trial is going to be Roy DeBrada. This is Officer Estrada's case.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is Deborah Roy.
Let me find that one. Okay, I'm looking at it now, Mr. Prosecutor.
Okay. Officer Estrada.
Go ahead.
Officer Estrada. Okay, there you go. All right, Judge, we can swear everybody in.
All right, everyone that is going to testify, if you will please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. If you want to go ahead and proceed.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, Mr. DeBrada is before the court because on May 9th of 2022, he received a citation for driving on the wrong side of the road. Officer Estrada issued that citation. Officer Estrada, on the date in question, you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. DeBrada. Officer Estrada, your video is not on. Can you hear me? Madam Clerk, do we have any issues with Officer Estrada's connection?
Somehow he got kicked off. We're logging him back in.
Oh, okay. I see him here twice.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. What did you last hear, Officer Estrada? Were you able to swear in? Did you get your?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just start over. Your Honor, on May 9th of 2022, Mr. DeBrada received a citation for driving on the wrong side of the road. Officer Estrada issued that citation. Officer Estrada, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. DeBrada?
I did.
And was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
It was.
Are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
I am.
Could you briefly state the nature of that contact?
When I had contact with Mr. DeBrada, he was exiting the subway parking lot, entering the roadway. I believe he's the owner for the subway. So when I made contact with him, he stated he was just trying to enter the roadway and leave. But like I explained to him is, once he exited the driveway, he drove on the wrong side of the roadway for about a few hundred feet before he actually merged right into the correct travel lane.
Okay. And you observed this while you were on general patrol, or were you stationary at the location where you saw the infraction?
No, sir, I was on patrol.
Okay. And so you pulled Mr. De Barada over and you explained to him why you'd pull him over. Did he make any statements other than what you testified to here previously?
The only statement he gave me was he was not driving on the wrong side of the road. He was driving in the correct lane of travel.
Okay. All right. No further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. DeBrada, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Officer Estrada?
Yes, Your Honor. May I request the Officer Estrada to play the recorded video that I took a wrong turn or I was driving on the wrong directions, because he told me that
Mr. DeBrada, this is the phase where you ask questions. So do you have any questions you'd like to ask? If you wanted the video, sir, you would have needed to subpoena him to bring that to court. So right now, are there any questions you'd like to ask him?
I mean, I don't know how to say it. This is not my regular things that I come to court or I have to answer in front of a judge or officer. All I just need to know that, all I need to just tell that officer just said that I was coming out of the subway, which is not true. I was coming out of 45, 20.
Mr. DeBrada.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're going to get a chance to explain your side, but this is that phase of the case where you have questions. Sometimes people have questions and sometimes they do not have questions. So if you don't have any questions, just say, Judge, I don't have any questions, but you will get an opportunity to explain. But I also want to afford you at this time, if there are questions you'd like to ask Officer Estrada, please go ahead and ask those questions.
No, I don't have any question for officer.
Okay. Does the city have any other evidence?
Your Honor, the city rests.
Okay. Now, Mr. DeBrada, you can tell us what happened.
Okay. So I own this business at 4527 Jonesboro Road, Forest Park, Georgia. And that's my regular, way of commute every day. And so I see everybody the way I did it. Everybody come to the middle lane and then they make a right turn if there is no cars coming from the behind the back, or they drive slowly in the middle lane and then they make the right turn. Even I've seen so many officers, they do the same thing. And so that's what I did. And like Mr. Officer Strada said that I was coming out of the subway. That's not true. I was coming out of my business, which is at 4527 Jonesboro Road. So my question is, when I get pulled over, Officer Strada said I was driving on the wrong side of the lane. Why would I do that? Because I saw officer was coming. And like I said, Your Honor, as much as I know the rules of the driving, like when you are crossing the road, if you have a middle lane, you can get in the middle lane, and then if it's a traffic coming from your behind, either you can drive very slow or have your indicator on while you're trying to cross the road. So that's what I did. I don't know if I explained you good, but that is all I did. And not only that, I even asked the same question, which is my next door firefighter officer. I asked him, I said, Chief, what would you do if you have to cross this road and making a left turn? And he told me the exactly same thing, because Your Honor, that Jonesboro Road is a very busy road. You can cross over and just keep going, because it's what happened right after I got this citation. Right after 1 week, I got pulled over again for the same reason. And I asked the officer, I said, what should I do? And the officer told me that I cannot stay on the middle lane. I have to look on the both sides and cross over. Now, at this point, all I can ask you that how or what should I do, or if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. I did not know the way or how I supposed to cross the road. But I tried to explain the officer. Officer was very grumpy. He doesn't want to hear. I was trying to explain him, but he took it to the wrong way. He could have explained me, look, Roy, this is your option. This is how you're supposed to do it. He did not give me opportunity. Instead, he just write me a citation. There's no further things I need to say, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. DeBrada, the city may have some questions to ask you, and I'm going to ask you to simply respond to the questions if the city decides to pose them. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Honor.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor, go ahead.
Mr. DeBrada, you indicated that you were pulled over by another officer after the incident with Officer Estrada. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Solis.
So that was not Officer Estrada who stopped you the second time, correct? It was a different officer.
Correct.
And I believe in your testimony, you gave an explanation as to how the officer told you you should negotiate that particular maneuver that you were trying to make on the roadway, correct?
Okay. My request to you, if you can explain me in a simple, regular English, I might have a more understanding instead of you going through all that high level English. I don't have that kind of skill. So
yeah, let me kind of just simplify. My question was, the second officer that stopped you, he stopped you for doing the same thing that Officer Estrada stopped you for previously, correct?
No, sir. It's the reason, okay, that's not true. What happened, the first officer, when he pulled over, he did not explain me how I supposed to cross the road. But anyway, as far as I know, through seen others or other officer, how they do it, that's what I did. But this time, the second time, officer explained me that I can't do that. I have to cross over directly.
Okay. What did he tell you that you could not do?
That, see, it was hard. So she told me that I cannot stop in the middle lane, or I cannot roll or drive slowly on that middle lane.
And that middle lane was going in the opposite side of traffic, correct?
Okay, opposite side. So, okay, I'm coming out of my store and I made a left turn, which is I got in the middle lane and I'm going towards left. So that I don't know if I could explain you right.
No, I understand perfectly what you're saying. Judge, I have no further questions.
Okay. All right. Mr. Debatra, is there anything else you'd like to say, sir?
You can call me Roy. It'll be easy.
I know, but in court, we tend to be a little bit more formal.
Okay,
but I do appreciate you telling me that. Is
Yes,
there
sir.
anything else you'd like to say?
All my request is, regardless, whatever your judgment is, I'm okay with it. I would like to know from you, because I see this all day, every day. The way I crossed and I got pulled over, I got a citation. I see with everybody. That's included officers, even regular drivers, everybody. So my question to you is just for me, so I don't get pulled over, because I don't enjoy getting pulled over and getting citation, get aggressive attitude of these police officers. They don't care to explain you, or so the drivers can get better at the learning. They don't do that. They think that's not their job. Their job is just to write a ticket. My request to you, sir, what would be the right procedure to cross the road? Please tell me.
So the first thing that I want to tell you, where are you from?
I'm from India, sir.
And how long have you been driving here in the United States?
Give or take, I'll give you, sir, 15 years.
Have you ever taken a safe driving course?
No, sir.
Okay, I think so. Here's my advice. I think you need to take a safe driving course, because a lot of what you're talking about is outlined in a safe driving course.
Okay.
So the first thing is you need to take a safe driving course. The second thing, if that does not do it, then you need to take some driving classes, which they offer here in the United States. And I would recommend that you do that.
Okay.
Okay. So those are the two things that I would say to you that I think will address this situation and probably other things. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to say?
Okay, so thing is, I respect your advice, but like I had my question, like you said, I need to take the safe driving course, which is okay. I'm gonna do it, but I like to again ask you, like, what should I do so I don't get pulled over? Like I said, the second officer did
So,
not.
Mr. DeBrada, you're not listening to me. To address this,
Okay.
To address this question, take a safe driving course. They will help you to how to drive properly while you're here in the United States and what you need to do in specific situations.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't have any further question, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, you've entered a not guilty plea to the charge. Based on the evidence, the court does find you guilty. The fine amount is $100. Are you able to pay that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I'll be able to pay less than 2 weeks.
Okay. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes.
Do we have his information, Ms. Yates?
Yes, we do.
All right. Sir, you will receive your plea form to which you will enter a not guilty plea. The court has found you guilty of the violation. The fine has been reduced to $100, and you will pay that within 2 weeks, and they will provide you with information on how to pay that. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you can disengage from the call. Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Take care. Mr. Prosecutor, you want to call your next matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
May-
Dennis.
May I interrupt, please?
You can.
May Officer Ellis, Chittick, and Simmons be excused? Officer Ellis had a subject on page 3 that was FCA Hicks, and Officer Chittick had the still subject. I believe her case was dismissed, and Officer Simmons had a shorter on page 4, and Diane Williams on page 5.
Okay.
Shorter and Williams were FTA.
According to my calendar, that is correct, Judge. There are no.
All right, then they can be excused. Thank you, Ms. Yates, for bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome.
All right, you want to go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yeah, let me just make sure one other thing, Judge. Officer,
Okay.
Estrada, that case, which was Talbot, the only other matter that he had on there was also an FTA. Is that not correct, Madam Clerk?
One moment.
I have on page 5, Talbot the second. And then I believe everybody else for Estrada we went through.
That is correct.
So, Your Honor, if our information is correct, Estrada is no longer needed, may he be excused.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Officer Estrada, you can log off.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.
And Judge, I had Dennis Summers. This is going to be Officer Bailey's case.
Okay. Mr. Summers? Mr. Summers, let me have you to please unmute. Sir, if you will please unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Sir, you've been charged with a stop sign violation to which you've entered a not guilty plea. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, everyone that's going to testify, if you will please raise your right hand. Officer Bailey, if you will unmute and please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, Officer Bailey, thank you. You want to go ahead and proceed with the case, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Summers is before the court because on May 9th of 2022, he received a citation for failing to stop at a stop sign. Officer Bailey issued that citation. Officer Bailey, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Summers?
Yes,
Was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
yes,
And are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
yes.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
It was at the intersection of College and Robin Street. There's a stop sign there. When I pulled Mr. Summers over, I told him I pulled him over for a stop sign. He told me he didn't see the stop sign.
Okay. Now, were you stationary at that location, or were you traveling in traffic at the time that you observed Mr. Summers run the stop sign?
I was stationary.
Okay. And had you been there for quite some time prior to seeing Mr. Summers' vehicle come to that intersection?
Yes.
And at any time while you were stationary at that location, was your view obstructed of the stop sign that Mr. Summers ran and or the vehicle driven by Mr. Summers?
No.
You said that you did pull him over and explain to him why you pulled him over, and his statement to you put that in in the citation, correct? He said that he did not see the stop sign?
Right.
No further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Summers, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the police officer?
Yes, I made a stop, but she said make a complete stop. And I said, what stop sign you talking about? I didn't see nothing but that one back there. And it was on the, I don't know the name of the intersection. And I told her I wasn't gonna argue with her about it. I said,
Okay, do you have any questions, sir? Or do you have any questions you'd like to ask her?
Yes, officer, did you not say you did not make a complete stop? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I said, did you not
Say it
say,
again?
I said, did you not say I did not make a complete stop?
Yeah, I told you that you did not make a complete stop. You said I did not see the stop sign.
No, I said I didn't see a stop sign back there. I seen the one that I stopped at. You said you did not make a complete stop. That's what you told me. I said, I'm not gonna argue with you. So I took your ticket.
All right. Are there any other questions? Sir, do you have any other questions?
No, she said I did not make a complete stop. That was her statement to me. And I said, okay.
She said that she did tell you that, and then she said that she thought that you said following that you did not see the stop sign, and you were clarifying it today saying that I did not see any other stop sign other than the one that I stopped at.
Right, and she said,
So I totally understand that. My question is, do you have any other questions you want to ask her right now?
Yes.
What's
Did
your question?
Officer, did you not say I did not make a complete stop?
Mr. Summers, she said that she said that.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
No question then, no question.
Yeah, do you have any other questions? But she did say that you did say that she told you that she did not make a complete stop.
Right, and I said I didn't see no other stop sign but that one. That's correct, you correct.
All right. Mr. Prosecutor, does the city have any other evidence?
No other evidence, Judge. City rests.
All right. Mr. Summers, you can now tell me what happened.
She pulled me over. I was going, I guess, I don't know the name of the street, whatever. I was dropping a friend off at his sister's house. But anyway, when she pulled me over, she said, you did not make a complete stop. I saw the stop sign. It wasn't like 2 or 3 houses back. And I thought she was talking about another stop sign. I didn't see but that one stop sign. I said, I didn't see another stop sign. She said, you did not make a complete stop. I said, I'm not going to argue with you. And that was it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Prosecutor, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Mr. Summers?
I do not, Judge.
All right. Mr. Summers, you've entered let me ask you a question, Mr. Summers, so I can just get some understanding. The issue here seems to be that the officer said that you did not come to a complete stop. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's what she said.
Okay, and you're saying that you did come to a complete stop.
Correct.
All right. And when you describe a complete stop, you're talking about all 4 wheels of your car was not moving at some point while you were at the stop sign. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And the officer is saying that she was sitting stationary and she observed you not come to a complete stop. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. All right. Sir, you have entered a not guilty plea to the stop sign violation. The court does find you guilty of the violation. The fine amount is $200. Are you able to satisfy that in 2 weeks, sir, or do you need a longer period of time?
I will complete that.
Okay. Sir, have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
No, I didn't know how to do that.
All right, let me have you to provide to the clerk's office your email address. Just say it.
ddiscount09@yahoo.com.
Let me get you to repeat that.
D as in dog, discount 09@yahoo.com.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I received it. Thank you.
All right. Officer Bailey. I think she is disengaged. Okay. All right. We have your information, Mr. Summers. You will receive your plea form to which you will enter a not guilty plea. The court did find you guilty. The fine amount is $200, and sir, you will be provided with information to give you 2 weeks to pay. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. You can disengage from the trial Zoom session.
All right.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor, you want to call your next matter?
Yes, Your Honor. So we have Mr. Williams, Michael Williams.
Yes, sir.
This is Officer Edwards.
Yes. And looks like you have a couple of witnesses as well.
Hello?
They'll be right with you, Mr. Williams. I think the prosecutor's looking at something. He's looking at the incident report.
Okay.
It's going to be 2 separate charges, Judge.
That is correct, sir. One is violation of a city noise ordinance, and the other one is obstruction of an officer. Mr. Williams, what is your plea to the violation of a city noise ordinance?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
And what is your plea to obstructing an officer, sir?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, let me have everyone that's going to testify, if you will please raise your right hand. Mr. Williams, are you going to testify? Thank you, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, if you want to go ahead and proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me just make the court aware that the Officer Edwards, was dispatched to this location based on an individual calling. Does not appear that the individual who called is present. There are 2 citations that were issued. Officer Edwards can go ahead and testify as to the second citation, the obstruction charge, because that's related directly to his presence at that location. And the previous citation of the noise ordinance violation, the city's going to want to dismiss for want of prosecution.
Okay. So the city ordinance violation, Mr. Williams, is being dismissed for want of prosecution because the witness is not here and the city is going forward with the obstruction charge. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, you want to go ahead and proceed, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 10th of 2021, Officer Edwards was dispatched to the location where he made contact with Mr. Williams, subsequently issuing a citation for obstruction of the officer. Officer Edwards, on the date in question, do you have become in contact with Mr. Williams?
Yes, I did.
Was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, it was.
Are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
I am.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
I responded to Chef Mike's business in reference to a noise complaint. We had been out there approximately over 6 times in the past month. Upon making contact with him to be able to issue him the citation for the noise complaint, he stated he didn't have his ID with him. He didn't feel like he had to provide his ID. And when he finally provided me his name and date of birth, he gave me the incorrect date of birth.
Okay. You were eventually able to obtain that information from him, is that correct?
Correct.
And so the obstruction charge was based on providing false information, is that correct?
Right.
Nothing further for this witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Williams, the allegation is that you provided false information to a police officer, namely your date of birth. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask him regarding that, sir?
Yes, sir. I tell them, Officer Edwards, I'm gonna go ask somebody, my wife, to send it to me, and he was just agitated, saying, I have to have it on me at all time. I have to have it at all time. I said, I'll get it at my home, and he was insist I have to get it, and he was like, why are you making all this noise? Why are you making all this noise? And I'm telling him, I'm a restaurant, bar and grill. This come with music. So everybody complain, the landlord complain. This is what I rent the place for, a business, for a license, bar and grill. And that's why the officer get very upset. They call the noise complaint on me more than 50 times. And I can't operate my business without playing music. Customer want to hear music when they come in and eating and having a good time. And I tried to tell the officer, I have the license, but I don't have it on me. And by the time I get it from my wife to send it to me, the officer said I told him a wrong name and date of birth. I would never do that, because why would I do that when I'm operating a business in Forest Park and I get support from the officers all the time? But he came there all the time talking about, saying I'm making a lot of noise because he get the landlord and they call him on me. He come all the time. It's not the first time. And I'm not a disobedient person. I always applied by the officers.
Okay. Mr. Prosecutor, all right. Mr. Prosecutor, do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Mr. Williams, I heard your explanation in reference to, I guess, your disputes with the landlord and the business owner that is above your particular business. I don't recall you stating anything in reference to the false information birthday issue.
Yes, I did. I tell the officer I'm going to go and get it. Call my wife and get a copy. And he insists. He make up that date. I didn't tell him that date.
Let me ask you something.
And then I get the date from my wife.
Let me make sure that I heard you correctly. You said that you were going to call your wife and ask her to get you a copy of your birth date?
No, to send me my license, my driver's license.
Okay, I'm asking you specifically about the issue with the birth date that the officer testified to.
Mm-hmm.
Did you give him an incorrect birthday?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. No further questions for this witness, Judge. If I could recall Officer Edwards.
You can.
Officer Edwards, in reference to this, your investigation, you did an incident report, correct?
That's correct.
And in the incident report you made, appears to be certain statements referencing the dates of the complaint.
Yes.
All right. And it looks like you listed 7 different dates in this incident report that someone was dispatched to that location in reference to the same issue that you were there for on this particular day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You've had an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Williams previously, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right. And when you came into contact with him previous to this occasion, did you ask for certain identifying information as you did in this instance?
On that, I don't recall, because usually we just document if we're just given a warning saying.
So no issue was ever, no citation was ever issued previous to this one.
Correct. This was the first time a citation was issued.
And in reference to your investigation, you asked for identification information if they do not provide a picture ID or a license or something like that, correct?
Correct. And that's when he provided me with the date of birth of February 13th, 1967, I believe.
And then you entered that information into the system to check out any history or any background. Is that correct?
Correct. And he returned not on file through GCIC.
And at that point, you went back to him and asked him in reference to that particular date or information that he gave you to try to see if there was something that was not correct when he gave it to you the first time?
Correct.
All right. And his response at that point was what?
He provided me with March 3rd, I believe, or March. his correct date of birth, the one I was able to get him to come back on file.
Okay. The date of birth that he gave you the first time was what? What date?
February 13th, 1969.
All right. So we're not even talking about a close mistake. We're not talking about the same month and maybe instead of 3rd, he said 6. We're talking about 2 different months. And was the day and the year the same?
No.
No further questions, Judge.
All right. Mr. Williams, do you have any statement you'd like to make about the providing of a false date of birth?
Judge, I did not provide a false date of birth. And if I could get a record and request a recording to prove that I did a false date of birth, I would have get a request on that, Judge.
Okay.
But
When is your birthday? When is your birthday?
March 3rd, 1967, sir.
Okay. And now the officer said you provided February the 13th, 1969. Are you saying that you did not do that?
No, sir, I did not do that. I was in compliance with the officers. Why would I tell him the date of birth? Maybe my accent or something like that. He go back, listen different, but I never tell him a date of birth, Your Honor. And I'm speaking the truth.
Okay. Why did you not know your date of birth?
I didn't tell him that, Your Honor. I tell him.
No, listen to my question. My question to you is, when the officer asked you for your date of birth, why didn't you just say it?
Officer, Your Honor, he asked for my driver's license. That's what he asked me for.
Okay, so in your opinion, he never asked you for your date of birth.
He make up that date of birth stuff. I would never lie to him, officer.
That's not what I'm asking you, Mr. Williams. What I'm asking you is, did he ever ask you for your date of birth?
No, Your Honor, no, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Okay, Mr. Williams, is there anything else you'd like to say, sir?
I would like to get the proof on the records where I told him about the date of birth.
Well, you have the right to subpoena through an open records request if you choose to get any camera footage or any other footage, and there may be other video footage if there's businesses in the area that might show everything that happened, and you as a private citizen have the right to access that information. In fact, you had the right to access that before court today, but you can do it after court. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, so if you'd like to get that information, sir, I would welcome you to get the information. And if it's anything that you think would be noteworthy to the court, you could just simply bring that information back to the court. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let me just say this to you, and the noise violation charge has been dismissed, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. But it also sounds to me like you're going to have some future problems regarding noise. And while I understand you take the position that I am renting the place, customers want to hear music, and so I'm gonna play the music, please understand that there is a noise ordinance here. And if you don't get on top of that, it could result in your business license being revoked. Do you understand that? That's not going to happen today. And I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm just letting you know that just because you have a lease, if your landlord is complaining, if your other businesses in the area are complaining, I think you should listen to them so that you can be a good corporate citizen, okay?
Okay. But Your Honor, can I ask you one question? What time is the noise ordinance starting?
I don't know. I'm going to tell you to go look at that. As a business owner, you have an obligation to know what the rules are regarding your business, and one of them relates to a noise ordinance. So I want you to go look at what that is, and I wanted you to make sure that you comply, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. But as far as I'm concerned, the noise ordinance start 12 o'clock at night, 12 p.m.
Okay, well, again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just simply saying that it sounds like if they've given you 7 warnings that there's a problem, and I'm gonna leave it up to you as to how you decide to handle it. If you are set in your position and you feel comfortable with it, then stay in your position. I have no problems with it, but understand I did try to have this conversation with you. And so if ever you come back in front of me again, I'm going to remember that I tried to have this conversation with you, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Okay, Judge.
All right, sir, you've entered a not guilty plea to the obstruction charge. The court does find you guilty of the violation of not providing the date of birth that you provided false information regarding your date of birth. The fine amount for this is $430. Are you able to satisfy that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time to pay it?
I need a longer time to pay it.
All right, sir, you will be placed on probation for 6 months. Your probation will end the moment the fine is paid. Can we please get your email address?
Yes, Judge, I already put it in the caption.
All right, Miss Yates, do we have his email information?
I don't see it. If you could
All right,
tell me.
Mr. Williams, let me have you to please repeat your email address.
Chef Mike, CHEFMIKEJBG@gmail.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
But
sir.
here-
Sir, you will receive your plea form, to which you will enter a not guilty plea, and then later you will receive your judgment where you have been found guilty of the obstruction charge. The fine is $430. You will be placed on probation for 6 months. I'm gonna make 3 months of your probation mandatory. 3 months of your probation is mandatory.
Okay, what's your honor? Can I ask you a question, sir?
Let me finish the sentence, and yes, you can. 3 months are mandatory, and there can be no noise violations brought to the court's attention. Okay? Now you can go ahead and ask your question.
If I go ahead and pay it off now, pay it off within the 2 weeks, what would be the outcome of that?
You'll still be on probation for 6 months, and 3 months of your probation will still be mandatory, because I'm going to monitor this situation just to make sure that everyone on both sides are being treated fairly.
So that simply means might as well close down my business then, Your Honor.
Well, I will leave it up to you as to how you decide to handle your business, sir.
And then on the $200 that I paid in the court the other day to reschedule that date, am I gonna get that back?
I don't know what you paid the $200 for, but if you missed a court date, that would be for an FTA fee. So no, you would not get that back. But I don't know anything about a $200 that you paid. But if it was for an FTA fee, which is failure to appear, sir, you will not get that back.
Your Honor, that's what it was for, an FTA.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams, do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. You can disengage from the call. All right, Mr. Prosecutor, you want to call your next matter?
Your Honor, that is all that we have on the calendar. We do have a Mr. Vincent that I believe logged on later. I have him down as an FTA. This is Officer Richards' matter. Officer Richards is no longer available on the Zoom.
Let me see what his plea is, because this is a document violation. Mr. Vincent, you're charged with a suspended registration charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Today is your trial date, and this is a suspendable offense. Do you understand that?
I am aware now, sir.
Okay, so let me just ask you some questions, because this is a document case, this is usually something that I can handle. Now,
Yes, sir.
did you own this car at the time that the police officer stopped you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what suspended registration means in Georgia?
Well,
And
yes,
if you
sir.
don't know, if you don't know, just say, Judge, I'm not sure.
I know, sir.
Okay. So this means that your insurance company reported to the tag office that you had a lapse of insurance during that 1 year period before your ticket date. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So you have to be very careful how you handle this. A guilty plea to this suspends your registration. A no-low plea will not suspend your registration. If you are found guilty, it also results in the suspension of your license. Do you understand that?
I do understand, sir.
Okay. So since you got this ticket, have you determined whether or not there was in fact a lapse of insurance on your car during that 1 year period before May the 7th of 2022?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So what is your plea to this charge?
No-low.
All right. Ms. Yates, can you let me know if he's eligible for a no-low plea?
Yes, he only has a seatbelt violation from 2008.
All right. Mr. Vincent, do you understand that by entering into the no-low plea, sir, that you're doing this without the assistance of a lawyer?
I do, Your Honor.
And sir, do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
I do, Your Honor.
Sir, are you entering into the plea freely and voluntarily?
I am, Your Honor.
And sir, do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, the first thing I'm gonna do is reduce this to an expired registration, so it will not show on your record. Do you understand that?
Sure.
All right, sir, the fine amount is $550. Are you gonna be able to pay that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I'll be able to pay it in 2 weeks, Your Honor.
All right, sir, can you please type your full name and your email address in the chat and send it to FPMC?
I believe, Your Honor, I typed in my email address.
have it.
All right, Mr. Yates, do you have his email information?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Vincent, you will receive your plea form through your email by close of business tomorrow. You will enter a NOLO plea. The charge has been reduced to expired registration, and then they will send you a 2-week agreement, will give you 2 weeks to pay the sum of $550. Do you understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
This disposition will not impact your driver's license. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, thank you, and you can disengage from the call.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. It looks like Officer Edwards, you can disengage as well, sir.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You take care of yourself.
You too.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor.
Judge, I believe that does it.
Well, sir, I just want to tell you, thank you for handling court this morning for